Okay, now what's going on here now? Ah, there we go. Are we working okay? Think we are. Gosh, what a day it's been for techie stuff. Give us a thumbs up, please, below if I'm coming through loud and clear. A little thumbs up symbol, or type something in the comments. Let I know it's working. Because we've had a bit of a day of techie issues. Let's see, evening Peter, Stella, Elaine and Roger. Did a marvellous job today. Thank you. It was challenging, shall we say. Yeah. So let's just give a minute to people to sign in, etc. Excuse the woolly hat, I'm cold. So we've got no heating on here at the minute because I've got this wood burner to put in, and sitting still all day in one place, not been moving about, so I've got cold. So anyway, I'm got a big cup of tea, hoodie and my woolly hat on, so hopefully we'll warm up a little bit. Evening, Richard. Excellent. Right, yes. So well, that was interesting, wasn't it? An experience, shall we say? Evening, Peter. Well, I'm getting through. Yeah. Gosh, it's one of those you don't quite know what to do. I did take a few minutes break and phoned Easy Live to see if they could figure out what the problem was. And they said they'd got about 20 auctions running and nobody else seemed to be having a problem, interestingly. Typical, isn't it? And they thought it must be a browser issue my end, but everything else was working, was the weird thing. So the because I have quite a few different windows open on the screen, because as I do everything myself, normally in an auction, obviously you've got the auctioneer who has one screen, and you've got the clerks who have another screen to type the bids in, and you might have somebody else following the, you know, dealing with any telephone bids, that sort of thing. And then you can have screens up on the wall, which is what I use the video feed in for, to show you what lot I'm selling, and all that. And then I've got to have a little iPad on the go as well, just monitoring the output that you see so I can make sure it's going out. So all of that was connected up and everything was working fine. And just for some reason, 3/4 of the way through, the video feed and the audio just kept disconnecting. Every time I connected it, it disconnected again. And as you saw, sometimes it'd last only a few seconds and other times it was a few minutes. So I don't know, there's some technical thing there somewhere. I'm going to have to try and get them to look at it next week to make sure it doesn't happen again. But there we are. Evening, David. And David, great auction. Mark, you still have your voice? Yeah. A lot of screaming went on when I turned the microphone off and you couldn't hear me. So hopefully you didn't hear me screaming anyway. Yeah. So it's remarkable I've still got any voice left. But never mind, we got through. That's the main thing. It's just really tricky. It slows it down even more. I mean, I think I've said before, it's really difficult to keep up decent speed on the internet because you have got that slight delay that you don't have in a room, obviously, because just to double check that you've got the last bids off people. Because at the end of the day, it's my job, obviously, to get as much money as I can for the sellers, and obviously to make sure I've got all the buyers, anybody who wants to bid, and make sure their bids have come in, and we're sure everybody's finished bidding before we bang the hammer down. So it does slow it down a little bit. But then when you've got no video and audio feed either, so you're just relying on the little messages coming up in the pop-up window, it makes it even harder. So I was trying to leave sort of 10 seconds after the last bid came in, put up the fair warning notice, and give it sort of 10 seconds just to make sure there was no more bids before then clicking the button to finish the sale. So that was the best I could do. Hopefully it worked for everybody. The price is still held up as it seems, so we sold just about everything in those last 50 or 60 lots or so. I think there was only 1 or 2 bits didn't go. So it wasn't too tragic. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. The problem was, and I checked with Easy Live when I spoke to them on the phone, if I had to kind of reset everything to see if that might have fixed the problem, then yeah, it would have disconnected you all from the auction and you'd all had to have signed in again, which I'm sure most of you would have figured out, but there's always a possibility that, you know, some didn't, or you just give up, or you thought, oh, that was the end of it, and you go off and do something else. So obviously I didn't want to lose all the bidders. So there we are. So that's where we're at. So thank you all for your putting up with it, the problems, the joys of technology, hey? But we managed. Right, shall we have a look at see what we sold? Let's see if I get up this page here. All the prices will go on the website tomorrow, probably. Pete says, thanks, really good job against the odds. Yes, thank you, wasn't it just? So invoices, if you bought anything, invoices and also your sales sheets, they'll all go out tomorrow. If you've got the email I sent out a little while ago, you've seen that. So I want to double check everything. There's also a few people who joined up their Qualcomm memberships quite late, so I need to make sure I've altered their commission discounts and things like that, and just double check that there wasn't any lots that went astray or weird or got sold to the wrong person or something when everything was going funny, and I didn't click the wrong button or something, because when you've got that many different screens to look at, it's multitasking to the max, really. And thanks for those of you who were busy texting me and saying when the image was there and when it wasn't, and when the sound was there and when it wasn't, because that was that's very useful. So I would sort of try and monitor it as well, but of course, the more people checking on it, the better, really. Anyway, we managed, didn't we? That's the main thing. So let's have a look. Pricey prices. What did we sell? Spares. We'll rattle through these. So we got off to a good start. Look, £20 for some cash boxes. They were all right, weren't they? And then the spares seemed to go kind of rapidly downhill. £1. I was struggling to get £1 for most things, so there we are. To be fair, a lot of these spares have been knocking around for the past year on the Qualcomm website, so wasn't much of a surprise, really. I think we've discovered people don't need mini Sega bits at all, so that's interesting. Don't think there's anything drastically exciting about any of this lot, really, was there? Bandit bits and bobs. Yeah, so some good bargains with the spares. There was some good bargains with the spares. Yeah, if you need them, they're definitely bargains. But hey ho. Jennings clock at £12. We used to get 30-40 quid for clocks all day long. There you go. Pumps, 8 quid. These flash only a few pounds each, aren't they? But they're useful. Quite a good carousel one there for anybody who needed it. £7. It's cheap enough, wasn't it? So yeah, nothing too exciting. Backflash, 24 quid. That was all right. Cash boxes again, £14 each. People seem to like cash boxes. And they are often missing, aren't they? So the Mutascope base, I think that was the top price for spare, £2.20. Very nicely cast. So obviously with two people battling it out over that, they needed one. So there's still somebody out there with a broken Mutascope base. I think one of mine's got a crack on the corner, actually, thinking about it as well. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's the right base. I assume it is. I can't get to my scopes at the moment. Anyway, Nixie tubes, £2. Thought they might make a bit more. They seem like a bit of a bargain. What else did we have interesting? Well, the ABT shooter front 28. Well, that was okay. Well, it was quite a nice casting, actually, that. All-win cabinet, 165. That's fair enough, isn't it? A lot of work in an all-win cabinet. If you can get the oak for anywhere to make it with. Which reminds me, I have got some oak to sell, which I must put in the next auction. Pusher shooter gun, 145. Again, hard thing to find, and it seems to work okay. I think I might have a spare one somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. I might have sold it to somebody. I can't remember. A lot of my spares I haven't kind of really attacked since we were operating machines, which is now 20 years ago. So a lot of stuff got stashed away. Yeah. The penny coin shoot, £22, £28. That's useful stuff. Locks. Locks were doing okay again, weren't they? Not quite as much as last time, I don't think. I think a lot of people got their locks now. But yeah, a load of balls. Ruffin Walker fill 'em up cash box 42. That was, but I'm not really surprised. There's a lot of work. You wouldn't want to make one of those, and there's just not a spare that ever comes up, is it? And they're always missing, it seems, in the fill 'em up type Allwins. So anybody who's good at metal work ought to make a few of those. Though to be fair, there's a lot more than £42 for the work in making one, probably. The Pirate Fortune Teller head, he was quite good, wasn't he? 62. Some fortune cards, tenors, 20 quid. More locks, 40. That first 156, that was a Challenger. Hill locks. There's a couple that didn't sell. Where they were good locks with a key, and I couldn't get a fiver for them, I'll leave them till the next auction because they're well worth a fiver, aren't they? Any lock's worth a fiver, it has to be. So I wasn't going to sell them that cheap. That was just silly. So they'll be in January. Pennies only plates, £16–18. That's okay. What do we got next? Now for the tea while the page loads up. Coin slots, £24. Hortons one. I thought somebody was bound to have a Hortons with a coin slot missing. Try and find one of those when you want one. Never mind, we'll put it in next time. Orange £10, BM slides tenors. This, I don't know what this coin, can you see my mouse on the screen? I think you can. What, 187, that strange payout slot was from something. Don't know, £14 anyway. Clown Cup 42, that was okay because of such a rare thing. I had some of those made years ago when I used to be able to get castings done, and they were quite expensive to get made then. I think I needed one for something, and I had 2 or 3 made while I was at it. I think they cost like 25 quid to have cast years ago because it was complicated mould because of their shape. Even David. Payout knobs. BM spandrels. These ones, 42. I think they were the highest of the spandrels, the kind of brassy ones. Go in the early Ollie Wales and the kind of Saxony, yeah, those kind of Allwins. 30s Allwins, usually. What else? Old penny coin entry, I think that's a BM Co one, isn't it? And Wonders, I think, used them as well, the same casting. Payout makes a tenner, that was cheap, surely. Nobody seemed to need nostalgic bits. A dinged payout cup 48, that seemed a good price, but then again, you only got to swap the cup, take it out and put it back in the other way around. You've got a good cup, haven't you? Put the bent side inside the machine. Nobody wanted Cayley bits. What else did we have? Lockdown screws, £8. They're always missing out of bandits, aren't they, those? We always seem to be able to sell those. Allwin bits, they didn't go. That's a useful bit in it if you've got a French roulette machine. The instruction card. Possible piece to find, I should think. Steam shovels up, couldn't get enough for that. That'll go in next time. Cash boxes again, 24, 22. People like the cash boxes. Anything else exciting here? Not really, just odd bandit bits. Yeah. Bosses and things. Bits and bobs. More locks. What were these doing? 135, cheap, those ones. More locks, more locks, more locks. These kind of Rougher and Walker radial pin ones, £6 and £7. It's interesting. I said several times in the sale. Bit of a laugh, wasn't it? I loved it, said David. Yeah, bit of a laugh from my end. I pulling my well, I was gonna say pulling my hair out. I haven't got any hair left. It's not surprising, is it? All the stress. Yeah, as I often say, when there's several of the same item, almost always the first one will go cheapest. So if you look at these 4 locks, for example, the first one made £6, then £7, then £12, then £12. You always want to try and bid on the first one. If you look at these 4 locks that were saying they made £1, £3, £5, £7. The first one was the cheapest, all exactly the same, as it were. Always buy the first one. People said, I won't buy the first one, I'll get the next one cheaper because once the first one's sold, that's one buyer out the market. So you can see the theory, but it never ever seems to work like that. Almost always, the first one will be the cheapest. Because actually what it is there's more buyers than there is supply all the time, isn't it? So once the first 1 or 2 have been sold, you've still got maybe 10 buyers and only 1 item left. So those later ones make more money as they all get desperate to bid for it. It's what they need. Nice set of feet, 75 quid. So that was okay. The coin counting machine went very cheap. Yep, very cheap. Bargain that. If you need coin counting, batches coins as well. So you can set it to do 50 coins or something. All right, then on to some fair granny stuff. How did we do here? A few bits of art. £10, Haskell's Old Time Fair. 28 for Edith Barlow. Gorgeous and glamorous. The lovely Big Carter sign, 120. It was one that didn't go last time. But I got it away this time. Great, it's going to look brilliant in some ones if you've got a big garage, especially if you collect Scammells, of course. King and 17, they didn't go. We'll try them again next time. Coke sign, a tenner. Merivale Model Village, £18. Nice vintage poster. The RBB&B frame poster, 85. What else have we got? Machines, Allwins, the Watt Allwinners. Remember a couple of weeks ago, who was it? Was it somebody on one of the live streams or somebody I was speaking to said they hadn't seen a Watt Allwin for ages and ages? This one had a lot of restoration done to it. So, but having said all that, it's shiny. It's got also been re-chromed. Locks, keys, ready to go. So there you go. The high top 420, this blue one, other than needing the bottom cabinet edge and the trim piece that goes around the payout tray, it's actually quite a good machine. Jackpot escalator, good mech, original paint. Yeah, so 420 seemed okay for that. This is quite interesting, the Star Express. One I hadn't seen before, not sure who made it. If anybody knows, if you've got one or something similar, let me know the maker of it. It's quite a fun flashy light thing. That's the thing I could see taking lots of money. I think it's gone to a collector rather than an operator, but I could see it making good money on site. Dutch is £200. That's about standard for those these days, isn't it? Remember, we used to struggle to get 50, 60 quid for those. So, yeah, they've shot up, haven't they, really? The relative value. These nice photo op boards. What do we get? 80, 70, 70, 110. I quite like the Dodgem one. And that was well, almost the cheapest, funnily enough. Yeah. Yeah. This high top didn't go, so I'll probably go next time. One of the very few machines that didn't sell. The Governor 1600, nice original chrome on that one. Seems to be about the going rate for them. It wasn't long ago, a good one would make half that, was it? Would make 800. Allwins, 980 for the Winter Fruit Polo. Very bright, colourful one, that one. So yeah, I wasn't surprised by that. Easy 9, 620. I thought with all the excitement over the football at the minute, that might make a little bit more. There you go. What have we got? Winner Gum. Do chip in, by the way, if you think I'm speaking a load of rubbish or got any comments on any of this stuff as we go through, and I'll try and keep an eye on the comments. Winner Gum, 660. A nice bright one. Had all the Ollie Wales lined up here in a line. Looked really good. I'll try and remember to take a picture of it all before before everything goes out in the week. Books were doing well. The slotty books. 46, 90, 140. But they're hard books to get hold of, aren't they? So it's not really surprising. Interspace, that one didn't go. And the margins, there's something up with the margins a bit. I've got one of these. I'm going to have to try and find my machine and we can figure out what it is. There's not much missing. It's something in the coin release part of it. I can't get to mine in a minute. It's stored away, but there's not many of them around. If anybody else has got one that's accessible, you can perhaps take us a picture of the mechanism. I can try and figure out what's wrong with it. A little Sparks 400. Quite nice condition, that one. On penny, original paint. Yes, it was very cheap. What was that? Oh, the coin counter machine, yeah. Light Up Bandit 290. The Gripper 500. The quite nice Showman's paint. I was speaking to a chap, actually, I think the chap who bought it, could be the other day about it, and saying I've got a couple of machines in very similar paint from the 30s BMCO machines, and I know I've seen a few, I've sold a few over the years. I think I might have 3, I can't remember. I've got a Fortune Teller and an Allwyn, definitely. I might have 2 Allwyns. The Fortune Teller I actually bought from the States and had it shipped back, which was nerve-wracking because it's one with a beautiful mirror in, all a lovely etched mirror. It's horoscope one, I think it is. And if the mirror had got broken, that would have been the end of the machine, basically. But it arrived in one piece, fortunately. And there's 2 or 3 other machines I know. I think John Peterson, I think it is, quite well-known American collector, has got 2 or 3 with that same kind of Showman's paint on as well. So, and it all looks to be done by the same hand, so they were probably all in an arcade. Probably a travelling arcade. That's sometime in their life. Anyway, Diamond 3-star Sega 450, quite a smart one, that one. Decent chrome on it. Jackpot escalator, all the bits. And 440, the next one, pretty similar, really. Again, pretty nice condition. Penny arcade signs. What have we got on those? 60, 50, and 60. So they're going to look good above people's lines of Allwyns. These little aeroplanes, I thought these were lovely. 110, both made 110. Little wooden aeroplanes. Yeah, I thought they were really sweet little things. The Twisted Brass usually makes good money. 90s, 100, 190s. Especially this, because proper Victorian stuff with the, I tried to photograph it to show the scene where it's soldered together, brazed together. That looks really nice when it's polished. But the later stuff where it's seamless tube, it doesn't, it's just not as nice, really. Plus Victorian brass is a much nicer colour, there's a lot higher copper content. Anyway, back to the Allwyns. What do we have here? Winner Chock 700. And Winner Spangles 640. I thought the Spangles might make a bit more, but they might be biased because I used to love Spangles when I was little. And they made them. Don't know why they don't bring Spangles back. Hey ho. Everybody loves Spangles. Take Your Pick. That's a really nice, bright, colourful one, isn't it? 710. So they're all about the same. The Ollie Wales Allwyns were all around about the £700 mark. The Cabinet 310. Norwegian Milk 60. It's a lovely show card, that one. The Big Beer sign, £100. That was a good sign, double-sided, light up. It's going to look good in someone's games room. Aladdin Panto poster 36. Topical this time of year, isn't it? Lovely print. That's hung up in the hall here. I mean, it looks really good. Milk bottles. Now, why not? Why, you ask? Well, it's advertising stuff, isn't it? So, 14, 12, 7, 22. Oddly enough, the one with the least amount of print on it. made the most money. 22, isn't that interesting? Maple Dairy, £4. They'll make a lovely plant pot, somebody, for £4. I thought it was cheap. Hot nuts. Yeah, £80. Your nut warmer. With an old lot labelling for 160. It's one of my lot labels from many, many years ago. Don't know what sale it was. The Bantam and the Master, the two Atlas gum benders, £2.40 each. Both very nicely restored, locks, keys, and all the bits. Little stamp machine, 80. The Whirlwind didn't go, but it's got a lot of bits missing, but a lovely deco case. Wall bracket, 42. Little Hazard, 160. That's a sweet little machine. They're so sensitive. The don't know how they work. You put your penny in, push the slide in, and the platform the dice it on vibrates very quickly. It shakes the dice, and then you win according to see what combination of dice you get. I was showing somebody the other day, and I got 666, which I thought was very good. My phone number, as most of you know. I thought, well, I'll take a photograph of that, and I moved it into better light, and just moving it shook the dice about again. So yeah, I didn't get to photograph the 666. Never mind. The Gem, another lovely little machine, £3.90. 500 of the Target Practice. That's as good as one of those as probably you're ever going to see. Totally original. Yeah, really nice. And then the Turf Flash, what a bizarre machine that. I thought it was a brilliant thing. 30 slots on it, or 31 slots actually, technically speaking. £820. So it's only about, what, £25 a slot if you think about it. It's cheap, isn't it? Yeah. But what a thing, what a beastie. Probably never see one of those again, I suspect. Little Cape Hut wall box, £70. Nice original chrome, nice original paint on that one as well. The wrinkled paint you probably see in the twirly-whirly or the side photographs. A little till, oops, I'll scroll up a little bit, 290. I've got nearly £1,000 of those before when they're done, the little sweet shop ones. So that would seem like a good buy if you can spend a bit of time on it. Sweetie jars, 16, 26, 26, 26, 30. What's it we say? Buy the first one because it's the cheapest. The Honesty boxes, the Georgian one, 500. Should be in a museum. That is such a rare thing. And 300, the Victorian one. That seems all right. The little Bijou gold changer, 390. The Century 480, very rare, probably the only one. I think it's the only one. Probably my favourite machine in the auction this time was the Manitou, lot 482. A beautiful French Orwin. Stunning, stunning thing. 1920. 1920. It's about 1910 at the latest, probably 1905, 1910, the machine. The license stamp on it was for 1913, the last time it was licensed, and untouched since by the looks of things. Probably the last time it was operated. Beautiful, what a beautiful machine. The Belvedere, again, almost, you know, as nice really. Again, totally original, beautiful artwork, velvet, carved top, all the biz. 1620. So I was pleased the early stuff did make reasonable money, because there's been a thing a few years, there's not that many people collect the earlier stuff. And it often seems so ridiculously cheap compared to what people pay for 50s and 60s stuff. Oh dear, is my throat going to last out the rest of the auction? It might do. The Love Letterbox, 520. That seemed reasonable, I thought. Rare thing. Nelson Lee, good name. And then onto the tool machines. What do we get here? We got 1180 for the Bijou Billiards, 840 for the Cresset, the receding cups one, 1340 for the sliding cups, and £1,000 for the improved Pickwick. So yeah, not bad prices, are they? They're about right, I think. About £1,000 a piece on average. Seems fair enough. The Sports Electra, the kind of the double all-win. Interesting machine. You fire the ball round. There's two parallel tracks, so you fire one trigger round once. If you get it in the right cup, the ball reappears on the other track, and you fire it round again to get your final win. And it gives you electric shock as well. So yeah, 1300. The Scenic Railway model, that didn't sell. One of the very few things that didn't sell in the sale. Yeah, hey ho. The robots, 500 for the Dux Astroman, 640 for Winky. A bit out of my territory really, robots. I don't know a huge amount about them, but I did have a rummage around the internet. I saw there was a Dux on some dealer in robots for £2,500, so it's obviously quite a thing. Little Clockwork bulky mule, that one didn't go. Richard, agree about earlier stuff. I thought Pickwicks, etc. were cheap. I've got an identical Belvedere. Absolutely favourite machine. Yeah, I mean, comparatively, they are still cheap, aren't they? When you look at, a decent Oliver Wales all-win, or Wonders all-win, will make the same as the early stuff. And that early stuff is so rare. We made it kind of look common today because there was 10 or 11 early machines in. But if you look at all the auctions together for the entire of this year, we sold more early machines at this sale than everybody else put together for the whole of the year. There's about 2 or 3 other ones, including eBay probably. So they are rare things. But yeah, the Belvedere is a lovely machine. With a six ball reserve, it's quite unusual. Most reserves only have 3 balls in. So to have a 6 ball reserve is quite a thing, hence it's called number 6. Anyway, Tinplate, the little paddle canoes, they didn't sell. Still can't find out who made them. Interesting little things. £60 for the car and its box, 40 for the bagatelle. The little toy slot machines, they were quite sweet. 44 for the potluck. 44 also for the jackpot game. Just a £5 for the little Brody, that was quite a sweet little thing, and 36 for the Uncle Sam money box. The 2 automata, the Neil Hardy pieces. Quite good fun, I like these, very humorous. 110 for the spider. I'm sure you've seen the little video, but the spider only has 4 legs. These are evolutionary blunders, it's like a series of automata he did. So he just goes around and around and around in a circle. He's only got 4 legs. Now the vampire bat doesn't have any fangs, so he flaps his wings and then just sticks his tongue out. So it's not very scary. I think what's fascinating about these kind of automata is how little mechanism it takes to do the actions. It's very, very clever. Because if you didn't see the bottom half, you think, oh, I wonder how it does that. And when you look how little there is, there's kind of the art of it, of doing it with so few parts, getting a lot of movement. Really clever. Top lot of the day, I think, was the Magic Machine, perhaps unsurprisingly, at 4,150. Somebody texted me a little while ago and they thought that might be the record auction price of one. I'm not sure. I think that's the most I've sold one for. I think the last Magic we got 3,500 for, which is one of the later ones, the ones that Brian's made in the 80s. But there was a lot of interest in it, unsurprisingly, because they're hard to find, especially kind of the original run ones, and especially in this kind of condition. Untouched, not repainted. Yeah, so 4,150. I wasn't surprised at that particularly. So say we got 3,500 for the last one, and that was a, in inverted commas, new one. The working model 1950. That was an absolute bargain, really. I thought a lot of work in that. I know, there's the question of, well, it's not an old one; it's a new one. Okay, fair enough. But the amount of work in it and the quality, much better made than Bolland's ones, which were conversions of cranes, of course. So, yes, absolute bargain. So, yes, sorry, Peter, I did try my best. I had hoped it would make a bit more, but never mind. There we are. It's gone to a good home, I can tell you that much. Gone to a very good home where we looked after and cherished. So that's always nice, isn't it? The crane, the big crane, 1560. Bongini and Sopranzi crane. The Pinballs and Magic City, that didn't quite get there. I don't think it was far off. Nice machine. And then the top score, I think that was when we were having a lot of trouble with the internet, wasn't it? Started around here somewhere. The top score made 1290. Good fun game that. Had a lot of fun playing it. Trouble with trying to film pinballs when you're playing them is, of course, you want the camera exactly where you're stood trying to play it. So I was skewed at such a weird position to try and get out the camera shot. I was trying to get the playfield and the back box in the same shot. So difficult to judge to actually play the game. Don't know what the answer to that is really. Probably have two people playing it, so you can have one either side doing the flippers and the camera in the middle. Anyway, 1290 for the top score. Appropriately enough, the top price of the pinballs. The World's Fair, 380. The Silver Cup, 290. The Lighthouse, 180. That'll be a lovely machine when it's finished. It does need a bit of work putting it back together again, but all the plating's done. So there's more than £180 worth of plating been done to it. So that was an absolute bargain, whoever bought that. I look forward to seeing it finished. Fleet 340, that was quite a good fun game to play as well. The action's quite good when it goes, when all the cannons fire the balls. So 340. Books again, 38, 42, 22, 10, 38. Yeah, sort of 30, 40 quid seemed to be what the slot machine books were making. Roughly the same price. The penny arcade sign, that was a lot cheaper this time round than when we sold it last time. Lesson to be learnt there, measure your games room before you buy signs. Little signs, 12, 14 and 5. The Watlings, the top bandits of the day, 3,100 for the roller top. And 2,350 for the treasury. So they seem about right, really. Yeah, fair enough prices. Some more nice Jenningses again. 12.20 for the Chinese front. 16.40 for the standard chief. And 17.60 for the solid front. Yeah, the solid front's quite a rare thing. We sold this one to the vendor a few years ago, and I think the standard chief as well. Actually, we would sold them both. Yeah. Cast iron stands 410 and 260. I was saying of the bronzed one, you don't see many of those over here. There's quite the rage in America, that kind of finish, that bronze, polished bronze plating finish. A really good quality cast iron stand. But you don't often see that over here. The lovely change machine, ex Carter's Arcade. It's not painted by Carter, it's painted by Duffield. It's an original 30s Duffield sign, but it came with John Carter's first arcade. So 660. Super sign, I'd like that myself because I collect Duffield's stuff, but yeah, I'm trying not to buy anything. So I didn't buy it. It's gone to a good home. My tea's going cold. The big Fresnel light, that one didn't go, but the smaller one with the 3 heads did for 200. Quite a fun thing. Some Wonders machines now, 800 for the quick returns. 700 for the win and place. 1,080 the bucket and ball, rare machine. Needs just a solenoid in it, doesn't it? Super rare one. 1,020 for the 3 ball Bryans. Yep, Fireworks 840. They're a nice machine. I quite like those. I haven't got one. And a double your win. Sorry, 470. The Pedal Snail 300. Brexit teapots. We got £16, £16, 22, and 18. And I think the £22 one was the one I bought. Typical, wasn't it? I thought I'd best have one of those, hadn't I? To put my tea in. I think I ended up buying the most expensive one. Always buy the first one. There you go again. Don't learn by my own rules, do I? I could have bought some tea to go with it as well, look. 2, 6 and 3. The teapot, £7. The wooden figure he didn't go. It's one of the few lots that didn't sell. 160 for the spark plugs. And the leg didn't go. £75 for the boat. What else have we got? Oh, there's some more comments here. There is. Hang on a minute. Just if you've got another 10 to go. Oh, the models, yep. We'll look forward to selling them. We'll try and get more money for them next time. David says, I can remember posh kids playing with those. Or were those supervised by their parents? Posh kids playing with what? Canoes? Some of the spelling's gone funny there. Let's go back a page. What were you talking about? Oh, those canoes. Sorry, miles away. Duh. Yeah. Yeah, strange. What do we have here? Spark plugs, pot noodles, a tenner, tray for 6. Little lady planter thing, 44. The official sweepstakes, loads of interest in that. Lovely restoration. 1240. I thought it might make a bit more than that, actually. My tea's cold now. Ugh, that's not good. Can't stand cold tea. Sitas didn't go. Yeah, I think it was only about 4 or 5 machines didn't sell. The Duchess 870, lovely little machine that. A bit smaller than the normal. It was a good buy, I think, that one. Don't turn up very often. 850 the Comet. 920 the Fun, Brenner Fun, Ball Castle Yarrow. Books 14. Coin drops 30. Odd little signs, bits of paper. Books again. The Columbias, the Columbia Deluxe 840, one you don't see very often. 840. Columbia Gold Award, the one you see a bit more often. 500. Another quick returns 900. I think the last one was 800, wasn't it? This one made £100 more. Always buy the first one. There you go. The Win and Place 660. The little love test machine 360. These light up signs, these did rather well. French lessons upstairs at flat 69, 390. Wonder what people are going to do with these. Perhaps I best not ask. Live sex show tonight, 320. And Sin City strippers and escort was 220. So, yeah, Sin City seemed to be the cheapest for some reason. And you could have had some stockings to go with your strippers. £7. There we go, bargain. Judge 44. That interesting set of playing cards. The thing about do you beat your wife up or whatever it was. £32. Delightfully politically incorrect. Another little card box 14. Doorstop, old Tom, I think he was the dearest of the doorstops at 50. Mr. Punch 14, Mr. Punch 14, Judy 14, sort of woodcuttery chap 12, another one 7. The Bronze Britannia and Lion, that's off a something, steam engine or something, or truck, or I can't think what. Anyway, £36, somebody knows what it was from. Lion, the cast iron bullhead 22. The Imperial. Anyway, fireplace didn't quite go. It's a very nice fireplace if anybody wants that one. Only you need to be 80 quid, I think, with original tiles. That's still here if you want it, let me know. Winner Smarties, that needed the payout shoot, didn't it? I think it was missing out of it, but 520. Again, an all winner doesn't turn up too often. Quite a bright backflash in, so. Winner Chew, 500. The Hortons, 480. One that needs a fresh coat of varnish and paint, it would look nice. 250 for the Union, 300 for the Shoot. Little record player, 44. Gramophone, 6. Postcards, 18, 24, 22. So they're making what, £3 or £4 each, something like that. They're all fairground themed ones, which are not the comedy fairground ones. Yeah, chess sets, 26, 44, and 9. A few fire things. We had a pump competition certificate, £12. A letter from the Queen, £3. This one, this was good. The RSPCA award for rescuing a cat from a tree. The classic kind of fireman thing, isn't it? Really, it's quite good. £20. Snooker scoreboard, tenner. Telephone for 18, etc. What else? Last few lots. Money box, 18. Train the tenner. Some Christmas carousel lights, £32. Coins, I think they made the usual kind of money, really. 100 shillings a tenner. It's about right, isn't it? Halfpennies. Excuse me, sixpences were making about £10 a lot for 10. That's about average. Patchy slow tokens no one wants. Mint bag of pennies, 170. 500 pennies, 36. 72 1,000. It's about right, isn't it? About the usual. There we are. That was it. Job done. Goodness me, what a day. What a day indeed. So let's just find a nice picture to look at. What can we look at? We don't want to look at boring coins, do we? Let's find a nice image to put on the page. Where's some nice expensive machines? Where's those roller tops and things? That's a good space to stop, isn't it? Oh look, I'll put some bandits up to look at. That'll look pretty. Yeah. I'm knackered. Simon says, well done, thank you very much. It was a classic line from the film. It was an experience. It certainly was. Hopefully it won't happen next time. If they can figure out what went wrong with the video feed, why it wouldn't connect. It's been okay again tonight on this, so I don't know. Very odd. But intensely annoying when you can't really do anything about it. As I said, I didn't want to stop and risk losing everybody, disconnecting everybody, and then I was thinking, well, what can we do then? We'd have to either just stop the auction and redo it again next weekend or something, and then, I don't know. Never mind. We got through. That's the main thing. So, next one. Next one will be, pencil it in, I think it will be the 29th of January. I think is the last Sunday, 29th. So pencil that date in, as long as nothing else is in the way. I haven't checked properly, but I think that's when it will be. There's a few more spares that didn't get done this time, and some coins that will go in. I'm not taking any more spares in for the next sale at the moment. I've got to think what to do with them in the future, because obviously they take as much effort and time to list, photograph, and so on as does a roller top, pretty much, to sell for £1 as opposed to sell for £3,000. And it costs me money to list spares. I actually lose money on them as well when they're selling for £1 or £2 each. So I need to think about what we can do there. But you know, I'll clear the stuff that's already here and go from there. I've got a whole collection coming in, machines and stuff, which I'm going to go and see in about a week's time, hopefully, and pick that lot up. Some nice stuff there that's not done the rounds for a good few years. Chap's been collecting for 50 years or more probably, and decided it's time to sell. And a lot of the stuff he bought 50 years ago, pretty much. So it's yeah, that's always nice when it's stuff like that that's been just squirreled away for a long time, and you know, comes kind of fresh to the market again. And we'll see what else turns up. Speaking to a couple of other people who are, you know, wondering whether the time was right, keeping an eye on prices. I think you can see, oops, said treading on a microphone cable. Overall, the prices are holding up, if not going up still, and that seems to be generally true across most collectibles from other people I know, different dealers in different fields of collecting. And I know a lot of people are investing in stuff, collectible stuff, because your money in the bank is going down rapidly, isn't it? You know, 14 odd percent inflation at the moment, the real inflation rate. So, you know, every £1,000 in your bank a year ago was only worth £860 today. Whereas if you'd have bought, you know, a nice Jennings Governor a year ago and sold it today, you would have made money. So there we are. My belief is it's worth buying stuff rather than leaving your money in the bank if you've got any. And you can enjoy the stuff, can't you? You know, you can always sell it again, swap it around like most of us do, and enjoy it in the meantime. So yeah, thinking about doing a project as a bit of an experiment in collectible stuff, buying a load of stuff and selling it in a year's time or something. I don't know. I'm thinking on that one. I might think about that a bit more. David says, hopefully should have 5 machines ready for January. Super. Just couldn't get the bits back from the Chromas in time. And of course I have a full-time job that gets in the way. Yes. Jobs do get in the way, don't they? This last week, I don't know how many hours I've done this last week. Oh, well over 100. I mean, I often do nearly 100 hours a week. And last week was bad even by my standards. So, yeah, just a lot of things happened. Yeah, and victim of own success, really. Big auction, loads of stuff came in. Twice as much as usual, which is twice as much work, of course, to do as usual. But never mind. That's what we're here to do, isn't it? It's all good fun. So yeah, hopefully January will be as good. Some nice stuff, and some fresh stuff. And we'll see. We never used to do them in January, really just because, mostly because of the weather, cold and damp in the Elephant House. Mind you, it's not very cold here. It's cold here today, but you know, I think with online bidding, you can sit at home in the warm if you can afford to heat your house, and buy online. So I don't think it will have the same problem. There's that argument of people, well, have they got the money to spend after Christmas? Which is a good argument, but my view is, to be honest, that if you're the kind of person that's collecting this kind of stuff, which, let's face it, none of us need, we want it, but we don't need it to live, then if you can afford to buy slot machines, fairground art, enamel signs, so on and so forth, you're probably not on the bread line. So hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, I don't think that those kind of economics tend to apply to this kind of market, shall we say. That's the theory, and we'll test the theory in January and see what happens. Hopefully we'll have a good sale and all sell. So as you are, David said, how's Dad getting on? He's doing okay, thanks. Still in the hospital, but yeah, on the mend. They patched him up. I think they managed to find an old bit of shelf bracket or something to screw his leg back together with. And a few screws, a few posi drives or whatever. So that's okay. And yeah, I'm not sure when he's due out, but once he's back on his feet again, I guess. Yeah. There we are. So this coming week, So tomorrow I will do, in the morning, I'll do all the invoices and all your sales sheets. So don't panic, you haven't got them tonight. So I need to double check them, especially when things were going a bit weird, just to make sure I haven't sold anything to the wrong person or put a daft price on or something. It looks fine from just going through it at the minute. And also I need to double check Coldcon members to make sure their discounts have been applied properly. So I'll do all that with a fresh mind in the morning. So you should all have those by about lunchtime, I should think. And then regards collection, any day this week should be fine. And at the weekend, I'll get to Leamington one day or the other. It's my niece's birthday party next weekend one day. I can't remember which, Sunday, I think. So we've got to sort that one out. And yeah, if you want to collect your stuff there, just let me know, then I can put it to one side to load onto the van. If you want to meet in Leamington, we'll try and get things active by this week. I think I mentioned the other day, if you're trying to get hold of Alan, the regular carrier, be a little bit patient because his mum's really, really ill at the moment in hospital. So I think he's not always got his phone on or with him or whatever. So just leave a message or email or whatever. He will get back to you. And obviously his schedule might be a bit wonky for a few days. But just again, bear that in mind. There's a lot of it going about at the moment. And we'll try and make sure everybody gets everything by Christmas, really. Small bits and bobs, spares and coins and stuff can be posted out to you. Let me know. I've got other stuff to post out as well. I need to crack on with that. And yeah, have a few days off of doing auctions, really. End of January will soon run round though. It's only 2 months away. And in the middle, of course, is Christmas, and I've got some work to do here. I've got to try and get this wood burner installed so we can have some heat. It's damn cold here. Some other bits of patching up to do. And something else just came to my mind. My mind's completely addled today, unsurprisingly. Right, I think that's it from me. I'm rambling along. Anybody needs to know anything, fire away in the next minute or two. If not, we'll catch up again on Tuesday night, as per usual. And I'll no doubt see some of you in the week to collect your goodies. If you've got anything for the January sale, of course, bring it with you when you're collecting your stuff. As I say, other than spare parts for the moment, don't bring those just yet. I'll think on that over winter, how we can do, because we tried buy it now things and we didn't really sell many, to be quite honest, on the buy it nows. Auction seems to be a bit hit and miss, and there's a lot of work. So do we go back to doing those on the old Coldcon method? Because those spares sold quite well actually by that method, by the sealed bids system. So perhaps we go back to doing spares like that. I don't know. It's kind of easier from my perspective because they just photograph and put them on the website and just put them away in the box. And when they sell great. So I don't know. I have to think on that one. You know, it's not. I've always considered the spare parts as kind of a service, really, because you do need them, but it's a service that takes a hell of a lot of time up, and there's no money in it. And obviously, I can't work for nothing. I've got bills to pay like everybody else. So we need to figure out a way that can do that efficiently. If you've got any ideas, let me know. Right, I'm off. I need something to eat. I need to rest my voice, as you can probably hear. Go to bed and get some sleep. So I'll catch up with you on Tuesday night. Stick a note in here. Next video, Tuesday, 8:05 p.m. as usual. And hopefully we'll soon get around to doing some interesting stuff to look at in the videos again. Some more archive pictures and all that kind of stuff across winter. And get organised for a New Year one again as well, like we did last year. That was good fun. I like that. So we'll do that again, definitely. Stick that in there. Night, Elaine, Roger. And yes, thanks again for today, everybody who's stuck with the problems we had. Much appreciated, and special thanks to those of you who are keeping me informed, pinging me texts to let me know that either the video was coming through or it wasn't. That was very useful as well. So, David, let me know which day you're anything else. Yeah, I'll sort that out later in the week. I'll try to sort it out tomorrow so I can put it on the invoices. I think it'll be Saturday. Then the following week I might be there, or possibly in the week as well. But yeah, I'll let you all know, of course. Right, that's it. Night all. Thank you very much, and catch you Tuesday. Toodaloo.